This is Joe. He's a BJJ brown belt, and during my roll with him, he completely locked me out of my attacking arsenal. Throughout the round today, I'll be going over how he did that and how you can implement these techniques into your game so you too can shut down spastic one-trick knee slicing blue belts. The first detail that Joe used super well was gripping and off-balancing. As I go to sit in the headquarters, Joe is immediately gripping at my arms, preventing me from underhooking. He then lifts me up with a butterfly hook while also blocking my left leg from posting out, causing me to fall. From here, I start to cut angles on him, but Joe quickly recenters himself facing me as to not allow me to gain advantage when attacking him from his side. I'll then attack an outside feint to blast cut sequence, but Joe makes me look like a child as he blocks one of my best passes with almost zero effort. Joe then decides it's time to put me in my place, but he'll allow me one more move until he turns on his inner Craig Jones. As I go into the smash pass, he'll allow me to crush him just until he's able to reach through and bring my heel over his leg and then springs his hips up and sits in the saddle. I guess now would be a great time to mention, if you want to delete all athleticism from the equation of jiu-jitsu, learn leg locks so you can make your opponents look as clueless as I am.
I need healing.
Anyway, as Joe and I sit up so he can throw more shade on my name, it's my turn to play guard. I'll attempt to go into one of my strongest and most dangerous guards, Reverse de la Hiva. However, with a few simple steps, Joe is able to stuff my hook and sits down in the half guard. I can feel Joe pressuring in, so I try to spin under and hit a sneaky triangle choke. However, he realizes this and opts to back away, and he avoids the submission. As I re-engage, I make a pretty big mistake, and after Reverse de la Hiva fails to off-balance Joe, I don't reattach my grip to his hand, allowing him to cross-face me and drop his chest down to start working on a pass. During that transition, he switched to a guillotine grip, and by doing that, I'm now forced to defend a submission as well as a pass, staggering my ability to defend efficiently. Because the guillotine is a higher priority, I commit more defensive energy towards that, and Joe collects his pass. This brings up a really great point. I've recently been learning to play chess. Let's say an important piece is in danger, however your king is in check, meaning if you don't move it, you'll lose. Joe does a great job at using the submission to put me in check, forcing me to defend, then executing on the guard pass to gain a strong advantage. Now in a better position of attack, he moves back onto checkmate and sets me up by pinning my arm to the ground, locking in a Kimura, and now with no guard and my arm isolated, I'm forced to tap. I begin with another low outside pass. Joe uses the connection between his knee and elbow to calmly block me off as he slowly adjusts himself. A great example of using guard structure to bring down my athletic ability. Joe then blocks my leg from posting and throws me over to bottom. However, now in bottom half guard, I'm in perfect position to attack my sunsetter triangle. The checkmate here was hipping into Joe, forcing him to post and throwing my leg over into the triangle. As he tries to turn out, I control his inside wrist, and my theory for locking the triangle is if your foot is 50% or more of the way down your leg, you should be able to walk your foot up into your knee without needing to commit an arm to grabbing your shin. Because of that, I'm able to commit resources to different areas and secure the triangle with less obstacles. For those unaware of the consequences of submitting a higher belt, allow me to show you what happens after you make this mistake. I'll start back up passing again, bobbing Joe's head and looking for the outside pass that I've been working on for the entirety of this round. Joe catches me in his butterfly hooks as I dive in for a knee cut, and as I adjust myself to block his elevation, he stays a step ahead and readjusts his butterfly hook to topple me over right into a super dangerous straight ankle lock. I'm thankfully able to turn out of danger, but Joe counters by transitioning into a body lock and quickly goes into mount. However, he willingly gives me his leg for quarter guard. I obviously take the ankle, but as I do, I realize that I allowed him to transition into an arm triangle, and I'll get submitted for the second time. During this next part, I'll show you a great way to avoid tearing every ligament in your knee while simultaneously almost doing just that. As I go for a knee cut right here, I'm shooting from across Joe's body instead of from behind his leg, which is standard for headquarters knee slicing. This is something I learned watching Andrew, but it can be dangerous if they block you like this. Instead, always allow your hips to follow your knee. It's better to miss the pass than send your ACL, MCL, and LCL into the multiverse. However, now I feel that I would have rather given up my knee ligaments than allow Joe to lock onto this tight underhook. Underhooks are great for controlling your opponent and countering their explosive abilities, by not allowing them to form strong connections once settled. Using that, Joe is able to retain his guard. Another thing that Joe is doing really well is working against my dull blades. In that sense, Joe knows my knee cut is good. Well, not against him so far, but he's also aware that it is more dangerous than my very pathetic smash pass. So he opts to keep his knee on the inside, blocking off the knee cut, however giving up a smash pass in the process. Then as I go to sprawl onto the smash, he's able to easily capitalize on attacks, one of which is called the Kimura, which is one of the strongest control grips in Jiu-Jitsu. He'll use the Kimura to shove my arm behind my back and secure the third and final submission of the round. And with that, I hope you guys learned a few tips and tricks that you can apply to your game to study your athletic opponents and slow down the pace of your matches. Do me a favor and subscribe if this video helped you out in any way, and thanks for watching.